YouTube, Politics with Heart here. Wanting to weigh in on the Keystone XL pipeline and the Dakota Access pipeline. Obviously, a hot button issue at this point in time. A lot of moral, environmental, a lot of ethical concerns with the Keystone XL pipeline. After doing a little bit of research, I wanted to weigh in with my own opinion on the pipelines because I know that it's a highly polarizing issue that's evoked a lot of emotion, and I always think that it's important to temper the message of the media because, like I say, the corporate media is here to instill fear and to divide us further. So let's really consider the both the pros and the cons of what the Keystone XL and Dakota Access Pipeline really are. Okay, so why is this bad? Well, there are obvious environmental concerns associated with the pipelines. The pipelines can spring a leak at any point. That's definitely true. Pollution of drinking water, this is really huge. Pipelines running close to reservoirs that serve a lot of people. It's certainly a big concern, and I can understand why people are against them being built. And then, of course, there's treaty and human rights violations or potentially of Native American tribes. Also a big concern if the government is in violation of any treaties or any tribal laws, or these are things that need to be taken into consideration. The Trump administration was on camera talking about how they want to complete the pipelines with negotiations. I don't know exactly what that means. We'll have to see. It should also be noted that these pipelines have been largely built already, so this is not a new project. We can look to past administrations on that. Let's be mindful of that. That's also important. This isn't a Trump creation, so let's take that into mind. Okay, so why does Donald Trump want to move forward with this? Well, he's a money president. He wants to create jobs for people. It would create some jobs. There are some different estimates. People on both sides of the argument will tell you that it'll either create a lot of jobs or very few jobs. It will create some temporary jobs. It looks like it will create fewer permanent jobs than it will temporary jobs, but jobs all the same, so that is good. It will more efficiently move resources from the Alberta, Canada area or somewhere like that. They're extracting some of the world's dirtiest oil, from what I understand, which is another argument against it that I forgot to mention. Apparently, refining this oil will result in more emissions, or a more pronounced carbon footprint than other kinds of oil, from my understanding. So that's another negative. However, it's also been argued that the discernible difference in carbon footprint from the processing of the oil is negligible, which is likely true in all honesty. And the fact that they are already moving oil from that region down to refineries in the Gulf Coast area, that is true. And that takes a lot of energy and fuel to do so as well. So really the carbon footprint environmental concern is kind of a toss-up. It's not really clear either way what is significant about that particular point of contention. Then there's why potentially what I can see is that the Dakota Access Pipeline and the Keystone Pipeline are drawing attention away from where we really need to be concentrating, which is in clean and sustainable energies. And I definitely agree with that. I am an environmentalist. I want to see a much more concerted effort from the Trump administration to move to develop and implement jobs and employment in clean and sustainable energy. I really think that that's where we need to have our focus. Keystone Pipeline, Dakota Access Pipeline, I'm pretty split on whether or not I support them, to be honest. I see arguments for and against. The considerations of treaty violations to the Sioux Nation, something that needs to be rectified. And luckily, we have greater transparency now with Trump in office. That's good. Before, we would have had the past administrations of Obama and the Bush clan and the Clintonians. They would have been doing this in secret, which they largely have. These pipelines are near completion already. We're looking at the end of them now. So at least there's greater transparency that way. So the Keystone Pipeline greater efficiency in moving oil, which is being moved already. That's true. Some more jobs. That's also true. Negative environmental impacts. Yes, those do exist. The pipeline is going to be harming natural habitats in its construction. It's not going to be the same as it was before, and that's certainly a consideration. And then we do have to be respectful to the residents of that area, whether Native American or other kinds of residents of these regions. We need to be mindful of them. So let's see what happens. We'll see what the with negotiations means, and we'll see how this situation plays out. And hopefully everything will work out for the best. And also another interesting idea that I have is, if you're really adamantly against this, perhaps reaching out to Ivanka Trump. She's part of the younger generation. She is definitely seems to be playing an important advisory role in the Trump administration, and can temper her father's fire, so to speak, on a lot of issues. So that could be one possible solution as well. So again, I would encourage everyone, to really be mindful when you're listening to the media, and it's very obvious that they're here to instill fear in us. That's been obvious for a long time, but it's more pronounced than I've ever seen it. So be mindful of that. Do some research, weigh in on the pros and cons, and if it's something that's a big issue to you, think outside of the box on solutions. There are ways to really voice your opinion and to make yourself heard that aren't polarizing, that aren't alienating to certain people, because some people might benefit from this. It looks like some people will. So take that into consideration. That's it for this episode. Remember, look out for each other.